Hey everybody, it's Cinnamon Cooney, your art Sherpa, and today I'm going to be showing you how you can paint this adorable pair of happy bluebirds. This is a mommy bluebird and a little fluffy baby bluebird, and they're nestled under a bunch of leaves in the middle of a little spring shower with flowers all around them. And believe it or not, these are all based on a very simple set of strokes and techniques that even very new painters can learn. I'm going to really explain every step of this, every part of it, every material. If you check the description below, you're going to find a lot more information. You should see more than 3 lines, and if you're not, you're going to need to open that more button, and it's going to open it up. There's going to be links to our website where there's a traceable, because no, it is absolutely my opinion that tracing is not cheating. And I have a whole lot of art history to back that up. And on the mic today is my husband, John.
Hi, guys.
To this end, also, he's going to be answering your questions. You may be noticing this is a very special broadcast. For the entire month of May, the Art Sherpa and several other artists are joining the DERP squad to raise funds for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So there's going to be a bunch of stuff about that happening, and we're really grateful for everybody who's contributed. If you know the rewards, John has all of them printed out and taped up, but if you know the rewards, you know now that John has to paint an ATC on the air. So
Oh, yeah.
that's, I don't know what he's gonna do. He's really freaked out about it, but you guys got us to that 3,000 goal. So the next benchmark is at 5,000. What do they get? What happens at 5,000?
Oh, let me go over and look here. I have the individual, at 1,000. No, I have the wrong list.
You have the wrong list.
I have the individual list.
I think one of them is that.
Oh, here it is.
I got to show my sketchbook from school or something. Is
You
that
got
the
see.
one?
You're gonna do a Ross tutorial in oil.
That's right. If we get to $5,000, I will do a I will follow Bob Ross tutorial, and I'll do it in oil paint, which, as you know, I don't paint oils. And I'll get his materials. Like, I will hook it up like if I were you, I'll go in and get that stuff. I'll tell you the expense. I'll do the tutorial, and I'll tell you what that was like. Yes, I have some art skills, but really honestly, my experience with oils is maybe 3 paintings.
And at 8,000, you're gonna do your childhood art book. They're excited about that.
If we were to get to 8,000, I will show you guys all my old art from
And,
my childhood and my early college days and first licensing, like all the old stuff.
and I'm excited about this one. At 10,000, we get to do our wedding video.
We get to do our wedding video.
So
Yeah, so there's a lot going on. Let's get into the materials. I'm so sorry.
no, I'm excited about all this. This is a great week or a great
I'm
month.
very excited about this. So today, and again, this is in the description. We have cadmium yellow medium, burnt sienna, phthalo blue, phthalo green, quinacridone magenta, titanium white, Mars black. I'm going to be using gloss glazing liquid by Golden. Don't be fooled by things that say glazing liquid. Not that they're trying to fool you. They're being very honest with you. But sometimes in acrylic mediums, glazing liquid means making a very fast drying transparent glaze that doesn't blend. But this particular product is slow drying and does a glaze. And that's why I'm not like trying to like lock you into this one. I'm just saying this is the one that does both.
Mm.
I also have some carbon black and some titanium white. You can change up the materials and colors on this particular project simply because there's not a huge amount of mixing. So if you have a slightly different yellow, it's not going to throw you off. If you don't have the glazing liquid, you can just use water. You're still going to be okay. If you're using craft paint, you're still going to be okay. This is just one of those few projects where like fluffy birds will be okay using what you have. Okay.
Yes.
Let's look at our wishes, and we had a lot, of
Yeah.
course. So the first was, of course, totally a cure for all childhood illness. And then followed that, and I thought this was very important. I posted up something in our community tab on the YouTube channel, and I read a lot of stories. So my thing is, it's one mom to another coming up on Mom's Day. Straight for families who are going through loss. Love and compassion and health for loved ones who are the caregivers for their family. And then, of course, compassion and understanding in the world for people who are living with any type of disability, like anything at all. Just more understanding. Like if we just made more room and were more inclusive, the world would get to be a better place. So that was a beautiful wish, and I just thought yes to that.
Excellent.
Got a little teared up there, but I'm okay. All right, so my first trick to this, and normally I'm not a big one on this because you can get too much water into acrylic paint. But what I'm going to start out with first is this is a number 26 Ruby Satin Bright. It is about a little over an inch wide, and it's got a very firm filament. So that's the width. Just grab your widest brush that you have that's for acrylic paint for this part of the technique. I'm going to put out a bunch of white at first, and I'm also going to eke out a little of my burnt sienna. Use the brown you have if you don't have burnt sienna. And I'm going to put out a little phthalo blue. Use the blue you have if you don't have phthalo blue, right? So we're using what we have. We're not stressing about the little stuff. I'm not going to put any glazing liquid, but I am going to do this cool thing. This is a little spritz bottle. I get this at Jerry's. They don't pay me or anything. I'm just telling you where I found it because I think you can get them in makeup and beauty too. They're just this one that doesn't make the big water droplets. You can use whatever water mister you have, or you could brush on water, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make sure that the canvas, besides helping me erase my beautiful watercolor wishes, this is going to allow me to really do a very wet application of paint. And when I say very wet, I mean this in the way that heavy body painters mean it, which is just not dry. Usually you see me drag off that extra water from my brush, but this time I'm not. Look, I'm going right in and I'm just pulling this in. So I'm loading the brush. If you don't know how to get a lot of paint into your brush, it's a lot about coming from the side of your paint, pulling it out, flipping it over and pulling it out and doing that several times. And what that does is it loads it all into your brush. Now I'm going to come from the bottom up and I'm going to just get this whole painting covered in a base of white paint. So this should be moist enough, moist, that's just the weirdest word, to cover your canvas, but not dripping would be the goal that you're going for. And see, even with my wet brush, because this is heavy body paint, it is just loading in. If you were using craft paint, you would probably need a lot less help in water to do this, right? Because your craft paint is self-leveling and soft-bodied. So it's probably going to just go right on the canvas as you'd like it. So once you get the whole canvas, and you got to go a little bit fast for this, guys, right? Wet with the white paint. And I'm going to come back and just to make sure I'm going to mist from far away so I don't over-wet it. Over-wetting is not your friend, but you are just trying to get a little bit on there. I'm going to come and I'm going to get a little bit of the phthalo on the corners of my brush. See how I've done? And then I'm going to add a little bit of the brown, and that's what's going to make my day rainy. I'm going to come very lightly, not pressing my brush in, just softly pulling it up. See this? Ah, and I'll flip it over on occasion, and it's making these little streaks, isn't it? Yeah. As if there's little rain droplets coming down. I can come back and even smooth it if I need to. I'm going to go back this time and tip a little bit of my brown on each corner of my brush, and then maybe a little of the blue. You can always get more white if you need it. And again, I'm going to come up vertically. I'm trying not to go to the side, pulling this up. See that the brush is sort of perpendicular to the canvas, and I'm just letting it streak up. The bottom of the canvas is much lighter than the top, and the reason I did that was to make it seem like that the birds were sheltered from the rain, being under the canopy. So here we go. Maybe there's a few more drops getting in over here. I'm going to come back and sort of blend it. And you don't want to get too much on if you can avoid it. If you make a mistake and you get too much on, remember you can always add more white back, right? You can lighten it back up, let it dry a little bit, and then come back with some white. Now, once I'm happy with my lower range of rain, which I am, this looks light, doesn't it? I'm going to make a heavier range up top. So I'm going to get my brush and water, drag off a little bit of the extra. And this time I'm going to be pretty heavy. Look how I'm coming to the edge of my bristles with the phthalo blue. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
So instead of each corner, now I have it across the whole brush. And I'm going to just add a smidge. And this time I kind of go tap, 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 tap. If you're a little brush at home, try to see me there. Here, go tap, 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 just barely touching my paint. It's kind of a fun game. You're just trying to tickle the edge of it. I'm going to come from the top and pull down, and you can see that is a much heavier rain, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Now, when you're new, the reason I worked on this technique, this method, is when you're new, sometimes it's really hard to balance that dark top half to that light bottom half.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to come up with a way that you guys would be able to do that and have it not be so difficult. I may, from way, way back, mist, so I get a nice blend because I want this to blend into the white paint as I'm coming down and making this much heavier rainfall. See how I'm stopping at almost the halfway point?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that I'm doing to make my painting look nice is look at the unevenness of the edges.
Oh, yeah.
When I first came on the platform, I did a really popular painting of a girl walking in the rain. And I think it was the first one like that on YouTube. But I had done this technique, but it was streaked all the way down. And then we added a reflection in. And it was through the hundreds of thousands of paintings I've seen back that I realized I had to change it up to this to help you guys achieve this look better.
Yeah.
Missed.
That's been really helpful, being able to just sort of like look at what people are doing and help.
Nothing influences my decisions more about what I paint and what I teach on here more than your guys' art. Really, of everything that I care about, you guys are the first and foremost factor in how I decide what to do and what to paint. Like that we have a Mother's Day painting today.
And, we really appreciate you guys showing up because today, someone was just asking, what is a derp? And, in
what
derp
is a
squad.
derp in a squad?
What is a derp in a derp squad?
Well, you know what?
You want me to cover that?
Yes.
All right. So when you derp something, that's to make an accident or to be kind of like to do it wrong and to be really kind of goofy or bad at it. And so like if you derp something, that's like you just like, well, duh, I should have done it differently. It's kind of a gamer speak way of saying not, prone to mistakes perhaps.
Right.
And so Derp Squad, we may not be the most competent group of gamers. We may not be out there at the end game crushing the mad boss, but we're going to have a heck of a lot of fun trying. So, I think
it should be known the lady who started this team, she started this 6 years ago when her father was in hospice. She was invited out to St. Jude. Her name's Trade Chat. You may know her because she's a little bit famous. She has an IMBD page. And when she was there, it so changed her and changed her life that she started actively fundraising yearly for St. Jude, and she created the Derp Squad so other people could join her in her goal to end childhood illness. And I love that John and I got to be invited to this.
Yeah. And, we get to go in and do some gaming and some painting. And, as part of it, I get to tell really, really bad panda jokes.
How many bad panda jokes do you have today?
Oh, let's see. I think I have at least one panda joke wound up for you. So
at different levels that you donate, we will do different things for you. Like is it 20, you get a GIF.
You get a GIF basket. It's a GIF basket.
I had to learn how to GIF for the Indiegogo.
It's a GIF basket.
GIF
basket.
I had to learn how to GIF for the Indiegogo, and in that I now have a lot of GIFs, and now you guys get a basket of them at $20. Those will just be emailed to you, and then John tells a joke at 50.
Well, we have lots of good jokes. Like, why do pandas like old movies? Because they're in black and white.
Please tell these at school to your teachers often, and to your coworkers.
I
mean, seriously, especially if you're like in a hypercritical
and nothing, not even a crack a smile. Like, she's just, I gotta work harder for this. I gotta come up with better jokes, man.
I think this is definitely necessary.
My dad jokes fall flat.
I love your dad jokes and never stop telling them. I'm gonna put out my phthalo green. You guys put out whatever green you have, right? Uh-oh, I got an air pocket in my tube. That happens because they get dropped and then they get air pockets.
I've got to get the little crimpery thing out and go zzz, crimp it up again.
Yeah, but not explode the caps off the tubes.
I found that you have to You have to do a combination of cap on, cap off as you crimp.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, so that you're never building up too much pressure. It's
All right.
you know what? There should be a technique video on how to properly crimp your paint tube.
Let's put it in our hacks, man.
Yeah, we'll stick that in the list of things we need to make.
I'll go ahead and just put my quinacridone out now. Why not, right?
Why put the quinacridone out?
So the whole rest of the painting, guys, is going to be in... Now, you could also... See, I've got a 1/2 inch angle here, but you guys could use... Try to give you an example. Here is a number 8 is almost that. So maybe a 6. Let's see if the 6 is it. Yeah, so maybe a 6 bright. See how that's similar in size? You could honestly use an 8. Here, if you have my brush, there it is. So you could use a bright as well for the next technique. Now, I'm going to be demoing this 1/2 inch angle. This is a Ruby Satin 1/2 inch angle short handle brush. If you're sitting at a table, if you are in bed and not able to get up, I really recommend short handles for you. I think my red handle long handles are the most killer brushes on the market. But you've got to make your painting experience amazing for you. And that's a tip that I can give you that's going to make you more comfortable is the shorter handles for this when you're doing this. If you're at an easel, go long handle with me. It's fun to back up. I'm going to show you a little trick about how I load this up. So first, I'm going to take my brush, whether you're using your number 6 bright or you're using your angle brush, and I'm going to load it into my glazing medium. If you don't have glazing medium, just get it nice and wet, guys. Then I'm going to do something sort of interesting. I'm going to come in and I'm going to take the tip of my brush here and I'm going to get it right into this blue. See what I'm doing? And I'm loading it up. But then I'm going to come to the heel of it. That's the back end of it. And I'm going to get it right in the green. And then I might even get some brown just on the edge. So see how I've got that where there's a little green on the right side and a little blue on the left side and a little brown in the middle. And I'm going to show you a couple of things. Something I want you to think about. I'm going to use my chalk to show you. There needs to be room for your branch, right? So if you're good at mental space, you can keep it there. But if you're not, be sure that you sort of draw your little branch in. So you remember that 2 little birds, right? Like about like this and like this, need to be living here somewhere. And so you need to make room for that. Right? So see what I'm doing? This isn't,
Yeah.
If you do this work now and make sure you've got the center of the canvas clear, that's going to help you with your painting as you go. Up at the top, if you're using an angle, you're going to begin this with the short bristles and finish with the long. I like to press in.
I was in the wrong place. Okay.
I'm going to press in. I'm going to just pull it down and curve it like that. Now this time I'm going to go get a little more of my green. I'm going to tip with a little bit of blue. Maybe this time I'll go the opposite way. See how I'm going? Where I can start the stroke and then thin it out. Or just do a thin stroke. And that's what I'm doing here. If my paint isn't flowing out, I just get right into that glazing medium. That's going to help it. Maybe this time I'm going to get more brown onto my brush. Just on the tip though. See how it's just the tip of the brush, guys? And I'm going to just be adding this dark top space. I'm going to come right here, like I'm going to press down. And I can even come on the opposite of my brush and press down. And then if you need to use the edge to finish your leaf, look how you can do. So you can do that with the bright or the angle.
When you get back over to your birds, I may have you measure them so they can have a rough idea of the bird diameter.
That is a really good idea. That's such a good idea.
You can do that when you get back to them.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to do it right now. Finish your little leafies.
Okay. I'm like, that's a good idea. Good teaching. So I'm just trying to pull these down. I'm not going to pull them down too far. And I only need a little bit of the dark leaves at the beginning. And this, if I need to, I'm going to get my brush wet even with the glazing medium, right? Because I'm not just trying to improve the drying time. I'm trying to improve the flow of the heavy body paint. If you're doing craft paints, you could use something like a floating medium. You guys might not know that's a very similar product. I mean, the one I'm using like is insane technology, but the ideas behind them are not totally dissimilar.
Hmm.
As I'm at this middle point, see how I'm right here at the middle?
Yeah.
Like I'm going to press this out and I just kind of curve it. That would be my trick with these, is definitely give yourself a little room to curve your leaves, right? Now on the bottom, and if my paint is creeping up my brush, I like to offload it and reload. Get right into the blue. On the bottom.
Uh-oh.
What?
You're on the bottom.
Okay. On the bottom, I'm going to add another dark layer. And again, I'm going to leave some room for my branch and everything. So see how I'm pressing in and pulling out.
Now, what are you using to draw on that canvas board so that
This is kids chalk that I've sharpened with a pencil sharpener that has the larger hole in it.
Oh.
I've got like a yellow and a purple. It's the Crayola one. I got it at like, I think CVS.
Oh, cool.
I only say that. I'm not propping CVS. I'm just saying that was where I got it. And you could probably find it there too if you have one of those.
Disclaimers for everything.
So see how I'm just making these little leaves? I'm just popping them along. First layer of leaves. This particular one is just the blue and the green. And I like to give myself some uneven ones. And make sure your corner over here, see how I'm pulling this flat stroke? I'm going to make sure this is based pretty dark, even as we're peeking these little leaves out, because I want that to be pretty dark. I have so many to put up here, I don't have as much to worry about. But over here, I do want that nice dark base, because we're trying to imply that they found shelter from a storm. I'm going to rinse out. And the next one gets to be real fun because we get green, yellow, and white involved. And whenever you get green, yellow, and white involved, it gets good. So get my little glaze medium on here. Get a little of my green. Grab some yellow right at the tip. And then at my heel, I'm going to get some white. So now I have yellow at the tip, green throughout, and white at the heel. Can you guys see that?
Hold on, I got to get up here.
It's really fun if you're a young painter, if you're a new painter, it is really fun to see how you can get that paint onto the brush instead of just mixing it all on the palette.
One more time, bring it back in there.
This is like, to me, this is like how brush painters get some of the joy that the paint pourers get. Because like, look, I got this crazy mix. This is like my flip cup. I don't really know what's going to happen, but I have a good idea. If I come in here and I plant it, look at that, and drag it, I'm going to get that interesting little leaf. Can you see my interesting little leaf?
Yeah.
I'm going to go get a little more glazing medium on here. And in this case, I'm going to get a little more yellow on. And I'll grab some white this time on the tip. So see how I've done?
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm going to come here, and every leaf, every time I stroke, it will be slightly different. Hopefully you guys can see how that's going. I might dip into the paint. I get some more yellow. Get some more white. And just press down and pull it out. Now we're just press down and pull out. Can you guys see all the streaks?
Yeah.
Let's keep practicing that. Now you can always practice. I just got some more green on my brush and I'm adding some white. You can always practice a stroke on a piece of paper. But if you're looking, you can see as I just pull down and curve. So it's not hard. And you can totally do it. But if you've never done it before, it might feel weird, like riding a bike. Feels weird at first, doesn't it? Glaze if I need it. I'm going to keep pulling these out here. See what I'm doing? I love pulling them down and like curving that stroke. Are we all seeing it? Is everyone comfortable with this?
I think so. I will wait for them to say if they are comfortable or
this not. This
sucks. But it seems to be everybody seems to be enjoying this so far. They really love the way that the colors are coming together and mixing. This is just really Trish was just like love the way that the blues and yellows make those green shades.
Oh, it's just so much fun. So right now I'm getting just the yellow on the tip of my brush here, and I'm getting the green on the back, and you can kind of see how it's almost double loaded. And I'm going to keep just pulling these out because I need to show that these little birds got some shelters. If I feel like I need more leaves at the top of my branch, I can come get my yellow and my white, and I can add these bright little leaves here at the top. And I can always make a little focus. Like I can come right here and pull down a little focus. So it's really like calligraphy. It's about taking this brush, you planting it, and then the S curve, the C curves that you can put into your brush stroke. There's a lot of connection between brush marks and the elegance of calligraphy. If you've ever gotten to practice that, it's great. If you're working on your handwriting, it's great. And don't feel like just because like maybe your hands are shaky or something's going on that you can't get the same thing out of it. You just might have a little extra character in every stroke. And there's nothing wrong with a little character, right? So I've got green all through my brush. I've got yellow at the heel, white at the tip. And I'm going to come right here.
Sorry about that.
Oh, what's wrong?
Oh, had to scroll down.
Oh. So we're just putting in these bright yellow bits, aren't we? With the green all in it. Those are layering nicely. That looks fresh and beautiful. Let's get right into our green again and get some of our yellow. If I'm worried, I can always dip in the water. And that would apply if I'm heavy body paint. If you're craft paint, you probably won't be worried about these issues because your paint's pretty wet already. You'll notice like if your brush stroke is kind of dry with the angle, you can always come back over with the tip and work a side out. This was like how we sort of succeeded with the thistles. And come get this again. Maybe some yellow in there. Grab a little white. Oh, what a fun load. So this is like a flip cup. There's going to be so many colors that we're going to release when we do our stroke, right?
I have to say big hugs to Craig. He's like, I think Cinnamon does the best grass on YouTube.
That is really saying something because, like, there's some good grass artists out there. There's like two that come to mind right now. I'm like, really? Better than those guys? Because they really grass it up. Like, there's like one guy, he can only show you like a 1-inch part of his painting at a 30-minute lesson. You get 1 inch. Sometime next year, we're going to see the whole painting.
Well, it's good to be
well, he's so high detail, right? He's so high detail that it's going to be a slow journey.
Well, we're keeping good company then.
Mm-hmm.
So
I will take that compliment among some of these talented people. I will say, well, actually, all these talented people, I don't want to rule anybody out. Everybody deserves a compliment. All right, I'm going to dip in. I want to say thank you, Greg. I'm so weird today. I just don't know what to tell you.
You're doing fine.
Huh?
We're doing fine.
I am loading up my brush. Load, getting my green all in there.
And that's glazing liquid in the middle, right?
That's glazing liquid. Not to be mistaken with anything else that's called glazing in the acrylic world.
Gloss glazing liquid.
It would be the same if it says it's a slow drying medium and it's an extender and it says you can glaze, right? So it's very transparent. It's a gloss finish. It's very thin. So it'll tell you on the back. And a lot of the products that say glaze, they're not wrong. They're just a different thing. I'm getting a little white. They are about making glazes only, which is something we also want to do sometimes. Sometimes I don't want my paint to dry slowly. I want it to dry quickly. See how I'm just pulling all these wonderful little grasses? Let's grab some just yellow right on there and add a little pop of that because it's spring. And so it'd be nice if our grass was literally greener. And I'm rinsing.
I want to thank everybody for doing so much to help us reach our goals here on
Oh, how's that going? Can I sippy? Is that cool with everybody? We are cruising towards Bob Ross wig.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done it before, but again, totally different. I'm going to watch a video, like, I don't know, Netflix or something. I'm going to get the equipment, like all the stuff, and I'm going to beat the devil out of it.
So thank you guys for
I'm going to do the whole thing. I don't even know what's going to happen to poor Easel. Oh my gosh, it's going to have to be like a quarantine easel because the acrylic and the oil doesn't mix.
No, they don't. Well, you can paint oil over acrylic, but not acrylic over oil. So once that Easel has been touched with the oil. It can never go back.
It's never going to go back. I'm never going to clean it.
Once you go oil, you can't go back.
Also, I mean, I'm buying the kit. So if it's turpentine, I mean, like, I won't be long-term exposure. So if it's a terpenoid, I'm going all in. I'll let you, like, if I pass out in the middle of the live, you'll know. There's a lot of fumes coming off of that chemical.
You got to let me swap out that terpenoid for the lavender stuff. Is that one really beautiful company that makes all that wonderful lavender, so it's all super smelly?
No, that's I will show you guys that after. We'll compare.
Okay. All right.
But I'm gonna go all in, like I'm you, like I'm like.
We can't augment. Okay.
It's unaugmented. I'm gonna follow the kit.
All right. Thank you.
I see a lot of people do it, but then they augment. I'm saying no. I'm gonna get the kit. I'm going all in. I'm gonna tell you how much it costs to make the painting. I'll tell you what it was like. You're gonna see me win, fail. I don't know what's gonna happen. It's very scary.
Well, $3,800.
I need ruler.
Thank you.
I just left.
She just wandered off.
I know. I said I need a ruler, and I thought it was over here.
And so now I have to just wander around, aim these cameras at things like I'm pretending to do stuff. And now I'm going to have to mute it so that she can whisper at me what she's missing. I'm not
whispering. I understand I'm talking to everybody. I'm just saying that I don't know.
She's not even a place where I can point a camera at her.
Where the ruler is, and I really need it.
Oh, you just had it on the floor.
Did I?
I don't know. Why don't I look for the ruler and you go talk to the wonderful people out here in the world? Because I can see. There she goes. Comes right back. Hi, Sandy.
Hi.
Hi. Say hello to everybody.
Is it live? You just saw me leave and come back. I guess it is.
We're live, and all these people are here to watch you.
I need a ruler because that's how I can tell you how far up.
I think it's on the floor.
I don't feel like I. Oh, it is. Oh my gosh, that's so embarrassing. That is so embarrassing. It was so literally right there. I'm very lucky that my family doesn't stick me in a floating basket and send me out to sea. Okay.
So what diameter are those birds? And I'm going to ask you some artist questions while you're doing
Okay, I'm going to get all my measurements while I do this, and then you ask me some artist questions, and I'm going to tell them things. I'm going to clean up my purple chalk line, and I'm going to do that with clean water and a brush. If you're using like the Acrylic Kids chalk, you should be able to clean most of it up with just a damp brush. I wouldn't necessarily use like a hard rag or scrubby sponge because some paint won't bind well. Some of the acrylic paints won't bind well, and then you might have a problem. Okay. Sorry. Ask me arty questions.
Okay. So, these birds.
Yes.
They do not look like realistic birds. They're very, very fluffy birds.
They're fluffy birds. That's right.
Why do you do fluffy birds?
Why wouldn't you do fluffy birds? I don't even understand that question. This is looks like 4 centimeters up or 1 3/4 inches to begin the branch. Why wouldn't you?
These are just a stylistic type of bird that you like to make.
Fluffy is better. Cute and fluffy. All the kids in the room go, yup.
Cute and fluffy. Well, that
little brushes, tell your mom and dad. Cute and fluffy is a big deal.
And this still looks like a bluebird.
Yes, it's a blue. Well, I did look at bluebirds when I made cute and fluffy birds. I didn't fake it. I'm going to go up to about 5 1/4 inches. For the top of the branch. So let's put that mark over here so I know where I'm going.
And I would say stylistically, you do fluffy birds. You have a long history of fluffing birds.
Or all creatures, because you guys haven't seen the hamsters and guinea pigs that are coming, have you?
That's true. There's the
and little field mice.
And they just get all fluffied. And
yeah. So as you can see, I'm wandering this little line here. And that's going to really help me know where all my stuff is. The birds themselves, off of the branch, the mama bird is 4 inches or 10.5 centimeters. And the baby bird looks to be 6 centimeters and 2 3/4 inches. 2 3/4. Whatever, it's 7 centimeters, sorry. 7 centimeters, 2 3/4 inches. So that's their little thing. And then around, like from the mommy side to side, she's about 7 centimeters. And again, that would be 2 3/4 inches. And the baby bird is 2.5. He's as tall as he is round. He happened that way.
That's he's all fluffed up.
Now, sometimes when you guys are doing branches, it can be hard, can it, to remember how they work. So if I made my little line and my little line wanders up the hill and it makes little bends and breaks. Can you guys see my bends and breaks?
When I have the camera on it, I can.
Now right here, if we come over and up just a little bit on the right hand side, I'm going to make a little branch that comes up this way. And I'll build everybody off of that. That's where a bunch of flowers are going to live. And then way down here at the first break, see that first little bend that I have? I'm going to make a little branch come right there. And I'll put a bunch of flowers here. Now we know we've got Mama. She's right here, isn't she? She's round and fluffy. I'm going to freehand her in. Because I feel like it will be impossible for me to not, you know, keep them as fluffy as they are. That's happening. They may even fluff up more. There's no telling. And I'm going to add a little flower to the end there. So to get the branch in, I'm going to be back into my 1/2 inch angle. All right, so let's get our 1/2 inch angle or your number 6 bright or a nice firm bright. And I'm going to get right into my brown. I don't mind if a little green gets in it like is here because I'm going to be adding some black to it. Look how I'm doing. I'm adding some black to it. We're improving the coverage of this, right? And I am going to just come along my branch, you know, where I think I'm going to have it. And then when I'm at the back here, I'll use the wide of the brush. See how I'm doing the wide? To sort of paint in. And then when I know I've got to start tapering it down, that's when I can bring this down to its edge. If you're painting Liquitex Basics or Loft or Craft Paint, you may find that your browns and your yellows are a real problem to cover the canvas with. What I want you to do, if that's what's happening to you, is dry your branch when it's all done and add a second coat, and you should be okay.
Mm.
Now, the reason I'm okay with these these little brush strokes is I feel they look very barky.
Now, if I can say, sometimes I've seen when using the student paints that are more transparent, if they work them right, you know, they dry between layers and put them on, you can make them look really good because the layers are what it's all about.
Yeah, so don't, you know, I mean, don't feel like your budget has you like kicked out of like the art club. It doesn't. You're good.
And,
Never feel bad about the materials you're using. Even with me, like I might get on a high horse about a company. It's just about the company. It's not about your paint. You paint with pride.
Yeah.
I'll hold the company's feet to the fire.
But yeah, you can paint with a stick and some mud.
Yes.
And or in Cinnamon's case, a toothbrush and coffee.
A toothbrush and coffee. That's right. I've done toothbrushes. I've done blueberries. I'm not saying it was a good painting, but I did it. And it didn't last very long. All right. I'm going to come here. See how the heel of my brush, the short bristles are up and the long bristles are down. I'm going to press in. I'm going to wander towards the right. I'm going to break. If this were a Hot Wheel, is where I'm going. I'm going to break over towards the left. That's a nice twig, isn't it?
Twiggly.
Twiggly. And I'm going to come here and I think I will come off to the right and add 1, 2, maybe 2, and like let's give it a 3rd. There we go. That's some flowers are going to go there. And let's give 1 more over here. Just a short little one. You got that? So see how that went? We went up. We made some little. We have to give some places for some flowers to live, don't we? I'm going to get into the black a little bit and the brown. And see, I'm just loading it up, making a nice dark paint. Coming from my bottom here. Bum of my branch. Let's make a nice little branch. So we press harder at the beginning of the stroke. And as we're going out, we lighten our pressure to just the hair of the brush. And we can make lots of little branches that might come out here. So see, I can kind of curve this little branch, and then he can have another little fellow that's curved there. Wipe off if I'm too loaded. I can also make sure that this has a little friend that comes out. So see, we've got a lot of little places for some flowers to be, don't we? And you're going to be adding all these fun flowers to this, so don't you worry. And then I guess I'll put a little bit, I'll come from underneath my bird and I'll come down. There we go. So there's a place to put some flowers on the other side. A baby bird, I'll really rinse out super good. Sip my coffee. Say I want to thank everybody for coming today, showing up to any of our shows. If you're a little brush and you're painting today, I want you to know you're doing a good job, and I want you to know that there is no failing in art. If you happen to be having a panic attack right now, I want you to take a deep breath. Let it out. You cannot judge your painting by the little mistakes that might happen. You have to take it in by the whole. So the one thing I challenge you to do is to finish. That's your only goal when you're learning how to paint, is to finish the painting. It will get there in time as you practice, right? And you can't really color wrong, can you? Can't paint wrong. That can't be wrong. Breathing in, breathing out, knowing that everything is okay. Take your sippy sippy. And I got a cheers Graveyard Girl for that, because that definitely is a tribute to her. She's back again in full force, being Bunny Meyer on fleek. She's like, fashion's back, I'm back. I don't know what was happening this last year, but I'm all about it. Okay, that's a weird thing if you don't watch it. All right. Little brushes, explain it to your moms and dads. All right. The grown-ups are like, I know what you're talking about. Should I be weirded by that? So I'm gonna get clean water. If your water is very dirty, it's a good time to clean it, because all the next few colors, we want them to be really bright, and we don't want the pigment in our water to mess that up. And I'm gonna at first come in and I'm gonna load a bunch of white into my brush. This is a number 4 cat's tongue. This is very similar to a filbert, and if you didn't have this brush, you could use a nice round like this. This is a number 4 round. It will give you a very similar result, and if all you had was a braid, you could still press it and pull the stroke and get something good. So don't panic, okay? I'm gonna load. I'm gonna come and get some of the pink on my brush. See, I've got some pink and some white. And this is real fun. I think on this one right here, I'm going to come above, about an inch above my branch. I'm going to press in and just pull that down. And then right here, I'm going to curve it like a comma. And I'm going to curve this one like a comma. And then pressing harder as I come down, I'm going to keep curving these like commas. And then when it's all done, I'm going to get some more quinacridone on there and glazing medium if I need it. When it's all done, I'm going to come right in the center and make sure that I've got some forward-facing little blooms. Do you guys have that?
Oh, yeah.
Now, without rinsing the brush, next one I might grab a little of my yellow. See how I've just loaded yellow right into that? So this one's going to be a little bit different. Let's come and put this over here and see how this is doing, right? Because I think I put extra branches on. Let's get some quinacridone.
You had to leave room for lots of
I
flowers.
forgot to leave room. Now, I'm going to do an interesting thing. I'm going to kind of wipe this off and then come get my brush wet, come right over to my yellow, and just get a little bit of white. Now, my brush still has a slight amount of that pink pigment in it. And I think I'm going to come right here and I'm going to pull a comma stroke down, another reverse comma. See how we're doing? We're just pressing and pull. There we go. That's sort of lovely. Now, I'm going to rinse out. Rinse. Let's do this beautiful, big, bright one right here. And that one starts out, let's get some glazing medium loaded on our brush. So we've got nice flow. If it's very hot where you are, this will be a big lifesaver. And I'm going to load my yellow right into that brush. See me?
Oh, yeah.
Pulling it and flipping it. I'm going to grab my white. And I'm going to come, I think, right about here. And pull a stroke. And there we go. One right in the middle. And as I come down, I'm going to get my quinacridone on. Glazing medium to improve the flow. And watch, this is going to get real bright. Let's put a couple little commas right there. There we go. Do you have it? Have another little spike?
Yeah.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Now, you could use just about any brush to make just about any of these techniques.
I think that's important to know is that the techniques I'm loading up with white right now, lots of glazing medium, the techniques will work. Yeah, you might get, just like if you change calligraphy pens, you might get a slightly different result. See how much white I have on here? Right? So I'm going to come right here and I'm going to be like,
Like right now you're using a cat's tongue, right?
I'm just using my little cat's tongue.
But if you had a round or a flat or a filbert or a bright,
I'm going to
you can
get
use any of those
some
things.
yellow and white on my brush, and I'll just come here and put a couple strokes right in the middle, finishing that off. You can add one there.
Now they might not make it as cool or neat as that brush does. Might have to work a little differently to get those.
But you can always find your way through, guys. When you're doing your little flowers, just know that you can find your way through.
Yeah.
I haven't even rinsed my brush. I think I'll come over here and do something, and let me just get some pink on there, right? And some glazing medium. It's all pretty mixed up. Look what a hot mess that is. Let's talk about a little flower that's maybe here and very cheerful.
And you switch brushes a lot to get a different
Let me load up some yellow. Yeah, you got to switch a lot to get the different colors, right? And each time you do it, you get kind of a different little bunch of flowers. Maybe now I'm going to go get some white. I've got still a lot of glazing medium in there. Grab a little bit of random pink pigment. Look at the pour cup. If you think of this like fluid painting, this is like, oh, something beautiful will come out of it. But let's find out what. Let's make a little curve stroke. Make some more little commas. Look at this one. This one's gorgeous. And then if I flip over, it'll give me a little bit of a different result. And I can come right into my yellow now. Come maybe here. You know, you can get this. And then if you're like, oh, but I think that you need a little white stroke in there, look, grab white. Look what happens. Feels like each flower, get some pink here, starts to become its own little color story, doesn't it? Just, you know, I like to be loose. I don't mind layering them over. Let's add some here. I'm going to rinse out a little bit because my brush is fairly heavy with paint. How is your brush? Are you getting those little flowers out? Are we taking a deep breath? Remember, any technique that you see myself, any teacher doing in a classroom, on a video, take out a practice piece of paper and practice it first on the paper and see if you're getting a result you're okay with. Now remember, don't set perfection as your goal. That's a crazy goal and we're never going to reach it. Your goal is learning how to be really loving to yourself in your canvas, right? In your painting. So go for like, can I improve? Can I get closer? And then just move forwards. Don't get stuck on the scratch paper.
So while we're sipping your coffee there, I'm just going to say thank you to everybody who's been donating to the St. Jude Play Live program. And you can see we're at
we're clocking up, man.
$3,848. Lots of Sherpettes have come in to rescue all of these kids. Thank you for all this support. Every dollar helps.
The studies, the studies that I do for the paintings over the month of May, they're all up as part of this. So you can get those for this towards that. And on the 19th, we're going to be doing last year's Azure Winged Dragon from WoW.
So to clarify that up, if you donate $1,000, you can pick from any one of the paintings that we've done this month, and you can pick the study from that, and we'll send that to you. And we're going to be auctioning off last year's painting you did on eBay at the end of the month to give all of the proceeds to that to St. Jude as well.
Exactly. So if that's something that you've wanted to do, I know we don't do that often, but for this is one of the things that we'll do that for. I'm loading up with a lot of yellow, and I'm going to come get a bunch of white. You can kind of see how that is. So that's just something that we are really about. I'm going to come and make sure that I have lots of like these yellow flowers here at the end. Look at the press and pull I like to do. You can even put some there. And now I can go right into my red and yellow together. And these should be much more orange. See how they're kind of like an orange?
Mm-hmm.
And let's just make sure that all of these little leaves, these little petals. Now here's the fun part. Do you know what's fun? Besides the birds. Birds are going to be super fun.
What's that?
We get to put up some little leaves. So we're going to get some yellow and a little green. Mostly yellow. Right? And then we'll get a little bit of white. And then every once in a while, just put a little leaf. You need glazing medium, get the glazing medium, but just do a little curved leaf. See how we're doing?
Oh, yeah.
They can be kind of out from the painting. That's okay. Yeah, they'll definitely be around here. If you lose a little green, you can always go get a little green back into it. And come and add some. Look at this. Little curves of little leaves.
So it's important what you're putting your flowers in to leave a little room.
To leave a little room. If you want leaves, leave a little room for your leaves and yourself and your art. Leave a little room.
You're all psyching me out.
Am I?
You're like, I'm going to go get paint? No, I'm going to stand here and look at the picture from behind the picture-in-picture. And now I'm going to turn around and look at the painting again.
I'm going to see if I can do this where you guys can see what I'm going to do.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to draw this in way like darker than I ever would. Hopefully you guys can see this like line that's happening here.
Yeah, we can see it.
So this is Mama. Mama's eye line is going to be right here. And since her eye line is going to be right there, we're going to have a belly right here in that center. Baby's eye line is going to be right here. Right? And his little belly is going to be, or hers, we don't know. We haven't gotten personal with the birds. So that's something I need to know because I'll work the darkest colors in. That way I get the layering effect. I put him in before I put her in on the feathers, okay? That way she can layer over him so she seems protective. Or her. That way the mama bird seems very protective of the baby bird if her little feathers are over the little bird's feathers. Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Feathers. Misting now.
Misting.
So weird. I probably need some more blue. Definitely don't need more white, but I may need some more blue. So putting in the feathers, it's a lot of fun. It is that basic stroke. Remember, you can practice a whole bird if you need to, right? So don't even feel bad about that. You can practice a whole bird. I want you to just load up with the pure blue at first. Like load, get some glazing medium into it if you need to. Load, flip, load. Heavy, nice load. And then get a smidge of the white, okay? Because you still need it to be quite dark. And let's start with the baby. And the baby's going to be pull. See how it's just a tap and pull?
On the toe of the brush?
On the toe of the brush, we're just pulling. It's okay. If he gets so fluffy, he covers a little of his branch, then maybe he's hiding his feet. Don't panic about it.
Super fluffy.
Maybe he's super fluffy. You are deciding, but it's also the painting is deciding.
You decide the fluff factor.
You should be able to, but I also recognize that sometimes the fluff gets away from us.
Cinnamon is definitely a fluff factor 10.
I am. Now I'll take a little of these darker blue feathers down a bit. Right? Maybe pull in I want that center ring for the white. Now up on top, I'm going to just grab some of the white from right here. And I'm going to make a feather. You guys ready?
Yeah.
So I'm going to come right here. Feather. I wipe off my brush, but I'm going to just get some just white paint into it. Right? It's still got a little blue. And then we're going to come and add these little belly feathers. Look at these little bellies. Belly. If it gets too blue, go grab a little white back on. Rinse out if you have to. Just keep the white coming. On this side, I'm going to come over here on this side and belly. And maybe belly, belly, belly. It does help to say belly, belly, belly again and again. And it's like frosting a cake. I probably could do this with a cake frosting tip.
Like mental reinforcement.
Yes. So he's there. He's like doing his thing, you know, assess his fluffy. I think I got him a little bit tall. So I might have to make my, if your baby bird gets a little bit tall, like mine has gotten, one of the things that I'll do is I will reload into the blue. Okay. Get just enough of the white to have it show again. And I'm going to come here and I'm going to be like, I'm going to widen him out over on this side. See how I'm doing? And maybe a little bit this side. He can layer right over the flowers if he got a little bit tall and skinny. If you have an older child you're representing, though, that's the hookup. That would be a bigger kid. All right. So once I have him rounded enough, I'm going to do Mama. Mama needs to be bigger. I'm going to dip my brush in the water. I already have a little bit of white on here, so I'll start working her out. And I'm going to come from the top. And I'm going to just pull in.
Don't push that button.
The button.
The record button.
Oh.
When I don't have a memory card loaded in the machine.
If your brush isn't offloading paint, just reload it really well, right?
Only you guys at home know that happens, so don't tell the Sherpa.
Because I'm not going to rewatch.
She's not going to rewind to watch it. She'll be like, what is that thing that pops up there? I'll be like, oh, that's that button that I accidentally push every once in a while and apologize for.
I'm just going to make her as fluffy as I can. See how I'm doing? I'm very into this, so expect to see more stuff based in this. It's like not going to go away. I hope you all like it. I need a little of this in my life. All right, so once I have her at the top, now she has a slightly darker top of her head, so I'm going to come down a bit now with these darker feathers to the eye line that I drew in, right? Which is in the top third of her head. But she needs her big feathers. So I'm going to go right into the white and the blue, make sure I'm all loaded up, and I'm going to do these the opposite direction. These are not quail. These are just, sometimes when regular birds fluff up, they have two weird feathers. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that, but I watch a lot of nature shows, so. There we go. There's her two little top feathers. That's pretty good, isn't it?
I like them.
I'm going to wipe off, maybe even onto a towel or a paper towel. And I'm going to get a lot of white on my brush. Even though there's a little blue pigment in it, there's still a lot of white. I don't know how we go from nearly dying to giggles. She does. All right. I guess once it's out, we feel better. I'm just adding the white in, and you can see it's streaking with the paint that's wet around it. When I need to grab more white, I'll grab it. You can just see each one I come in, I'm just curving it. So these are all like that comma stroke, aren't they? They're like a little comma. You can think of your strokes in terms of letters and different things, so whatever helps you see it. I got a little yellow in there, but I don't mind because I'm going to be adding so many things. Now I might add a little character up in the top of her head, so let me put some blue back into my white. And I want to make sure that I've got a couple little character feathers there, but not too many because I got to do in her eyes. I'm going to sip my coffee.
Coffee?
Let you guys kind of center and catch up, and then we'll talk about getting little feet in and all the fun of doing the face because they've got to be a little bit dry. Actually, what I'll do is I'll dry them, and John will say hi to you. Hi, Karen. Karen donated. Thank you, Karen.
And I'm going to say thank you to little brush Samantha.
Samantha, hi.
She just made sure that we had $50 put in here towards St. Jude. So thank you very much.
Do you owe her a panda joke? I feel like you might.
You know what? I probably am going to owe some panda jokes after this.
Yeah, I think you're gonna.
I think so. So I'm going to work on those panda jokes. I'll make sure that they're going to be all, pandarific and ready to go.
You guys should help John out. Give him a good panda joke.
Yeah, I'll work on those.
You guys go search the Google.
Yeah,
search it.
And Mary wanted to say thank you for the traceables, and I just wanted to say thank you for all you folks who are using our traceables. Those are awesome. We actually really enjoyed that whole part of the journey. So
I'm so glad you appreciate them, and really seriously, don't let anyone ever make you No, everyone out here, don't let anyone ever make you feel bad because as part of your art process, you use a traceable, you use inspiration, you are in that learning part. That is part of it. Everyone should know that. You should have a lot of room from every artist. So always feel good about it. Seriously, if it was good enough for Michelangelo and Norman Rockwell and Boris Vallejo, it's super good enough for you. And pretty much all the Raphaelites and Rembrandt and just everybody. I'm going to dry my canvas.
Okay.
I'm not going to dry my canvas.
It's unplugged.
It's unplugged.
That's not going to help, is it?
I think I can get away with it. Now I'm using this. This is carbon black fluid paint. You can use any black you have. The reason I use this is my paint is very thick, as you guys may have noticed. And I need a more fluid flowing paint like this, which you can see is like pancake batter. This is the consistency that you might see in a craft paint, but what it really is a soft body paint or a fluid paint. These paints don't have the polymers that hold the shape, and so they're self-leveling. I think we grabbed the wrong white. But you know what? I can get the right one. Don't go anywhere. I'm back.
Are you?
Yes.
And
the reason I give you both names, right? Soft body, fluid, all of that craft, is so that you understand all the different types of products that really are doing the same thing. Anything that's called ink or high flow or a liquid, that's going to be exactly that. It's going to be the consistency of water. All airbrush mediums are as well. I need to rinse that brush out. I just left paint in it. Don't do that. Now we're going to get a detail brush. John, do you know the detail brush I listed in the description?
I can look.
Because I want to use exactly that one.
It says short handled, Ruby Satin silver, crisp. I don't see a.
Well, you know what then? I will just do this. I will do a number 2 filbert from the ArtSherpa line. So these are short handles. If you're at a desk and you just want to have a great detail brush, that would be the one, man. It is an amazing brush. So first, I'm going to do some interesting little work. I'm going to come in. I think I'll start with, no, you know what, guys? Ignore me. I'm going to come in and I'm going to start with my yellow. I'm going to get some yellow. Okay, we're going to start with our yellow. And you're going to come here to the base of your birds. And you're going to make 2 small strokes. See those? You can't do this with a big brush. If you don't have a small brush, guess what you can use?
What can you use?
This is an art hack. I should probably put it in my hacking tips. It does actually work. A toothpick.
What?
When you don't have a detail brush and you have no access to a detail brush and you need to do fine detail work, you can use a toothpick.
Toothpick. I remember doing that like
It's
on miniature paints, but I hadn't
fussy.
thought about that.
It's fussy, but it will get you through. I have been stuck places and had nothing, and we were painting live, and I forgot my detail work because I always forget something for every live show that I ever do. And I literally pulled a toothpick out of my friend's sandwich and said, thanks.
Yeah. And I've used needles when painting miniatures.
Yeah, exactly. Needles, toothpicks. These small tools will absolutely get you through. Now, right here, see the face place that we have right where the little white begins?
The face place.
The face place. We're going to make a little curved upward little line, right? And if you're trying to make this bird kawaii, if you're trying to make this bird just super cute, so cute, make that beak small.
Oh, diminutive beaks?
Diminutive beaks. We're like Fancy Nancy up here teaching vocabulary. All right. I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to come down a little bit. I want his eyes to be a little bit lower than where I have the white. So I'm going to just make this tiny little beak, right? It's tiny. Who doesn't love a tiny beak? Now you can come over to your quinacridone and make a pretty bright orange, can't you?
You can for sure.
See? I'm going to come over and Add a little of the quinacridone to shade the beak. And I'm going to rinse out this brush really, 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 really well, like you do. And then I'm going to get my black. Okay. So what I think is very cute on the eyes is if the eyes are nearly touching the beak, and they're going to come up at this upward angle. Can you guys see that upward angle?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. We're going to make this like almost seed. Now, the inside corner needs to come up, and then I want you to go down, go big, go big, go big. There we go. Now, it can be hard to get the other eye, can't it? Show you a trick. For everyone who's like, man, I cannot get this other eye. You can take your ruler, right? Take your ruler, and you can come to the other side, make a little mark, take your ruler to the top, make a little mark. And that can help you to make sure that your eye is the same on both sides. So now what I'm going to do, besides tap that high rise of paint down, I'm going to get my brush loaded with the black again. I know that I want the beginning of the eye to nearly touch the beak. But now I can see how far up I'm going to want my rise, huh?
The rise of the eyes.
The rise of the eyes, and how far I need to take it down before I swoop in. Now my, because I don't have a hairdryer, my black wasn't dry. But that's okay, I'm going to fix it.
I can come plug it in for you.
It's okay.
Oh, I don't mind. I really don't. It will take a second here.
Okay, I might need it.
Okay. Hold on. Go ahead and keep doing that.
Okay. I also got some paint everywhere. I got to fix some stuff happened to my painting because my painting was wet. So stuff happens to me too when I'm painting, especially when we're painting live. I'm going to load up some brush. I'm going to show the repair. So I have a bunch of little boo-boos here. I'm going to come and try to fix those in, okay? Everybody gets boo-boos in their painting. I have a lot now that I wasn't seeing. But I'm coming in, and what I'm going is I'm going over them with my fresh paint. Can they see this? I don't know. I think I'm on the wrong thing for them to see the repair.
Okay, hold on a second. I'll be there right there. I just gotta get this plugged in.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. I didn't know that was unplugged.
I think there's something wrong with that dryer because it's plugged in.
Oh, okay. Try hitting that little reset button. Or I'll try hitting the reset button. You were just down by the reset button where it plugs in. The red one?
Okay, I'm back. We fixed it. We fixed it!
Yeah, well, we fixed that. I'm going to try to fix the top of his little eye here and everything where it got boo-booed. Right? Her eye. This is mama. Sometimes it's hard when you have to do a repair. But they happen. They do. They happen to everybody. You got to do a repair. You know, you just got to go back and be like, all right, I'll fix it. I got this. More character. And this is what Bob was always talking about when he would be like, happy accidents. The thing is when you're painting, stuff happens. Sometimes you make a mistake or your canvas falls over when it's still wet. Things happen, but being able to breathe in, breathe out, let the paint dry or dry it with a hairdryer that you plug in and have to reset and then do it over. That's really key. In life, you just find your resiliency. I'm loading back up with my black so I can fix this little eye. Get a little bit away from me. And I'm going to make these on the other side of Mr. Cutie Patootie. Now, interestingly for him, his eyes need to be smaller and they're going to be wider out. Make sure that I'm not touching any wet paint. And I actually don't touch his to the beak. I put them on the very same line as the beak. And I don't want to touch them to the beak, but they do need to be big. So that'll be something that you're working out. See, it's sort of like a little seed. I'll put another one on the other side. Just put that in really simply. Just make those eyes big. You know, if you're a baby, you want big eyes, right? But see, this is how I make this bird seem a little bit younger, by pushing those eyes out. It's just a little trick that you can do. Now, while I still have my black paint, I'm going to come in very carefully and define the little toes by these little black lines. See how we did that?
Oh, yeah.
Rinse, 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 rinse. Now I'm going to get some of my blue paint. Loading up with my blue paint. And I do this interesting little thing. I'm going to come above these eyes with just a blue line. And I'm going to add almost, because this is like a little filbert, it'll do almost the same stroke as the other ones will, so I can make this little dark area. I'm going to come underneath. I'm going to leave a little space for the white here that I'm going to put in. But let's add some little feathers. A little bit here. Got to put some white in, and I'll make sure I get some little feathers. Now I get a little bit of my white on the brush, and I'll come down through here, and I think I want to make sure that I add a little dark accent there of little feathers. Can you see those?
Mm-hmm.
Now on him, rinse, 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 or her. We don't know, right? You don't know.
Don't know.
Don't know. We're going to do the blue again. And this is going to be about being able to get the paint off your little brush. So we're going to come over the top, kind of like an eyebrow. See how I do? And then we're going to make little brush strokes, leaving a little light space at the beak. And here is very key. Get your white paint and come underneath and make a little white row of feathers. Can you see them?
Oh, yeah.
That really makes the birds cute. See, I'm pulling in. It's that same little stroke, isn't it? You want to have that white right under there. If I need to, I can take my fluid white that I put out and go right underneath it if the other paint was like bleeding too much, because you want that distinctive white under Mama Bird. So I'm going to do Baby Bird here. I'll just get my fluid white and go under. I'm going to make a little couple of feathers out here at the corner.
It's coming together so fast.
It does. So then now we're under those little eyes, right? So we've got the little bright shine onto the eyes. Definitely you need to make sure you've got a little reflection on the beak. Same side, right? I'm going to fix Mama's eye over here because I feel like Mama's eye got weird.
That can happen.
That happens to everybody. It's happening to me today.
Get a little wonky.
You know, just feel like you can do what you've got to do. I got lots of boo-boos on my painting today. So many boo-boos. Wet paint is not your friend.
But boo-boos can be just painted out.
Boo-boos will be painted out. I'm going to paint those boo-boos out now. I'm adding 2 little tiny dots. See how I'm doing?
Dot, dot.
Same side of the eye. If you do them in the exact opposite, then they kind of get a little cross-eyed feel.
They do. They look kind of weird. Your brain has to be able to make sense of it to say,
Yes.
this is, it's doing this.
I'm going to take everywhere I have a boo-boo and add a little white paint.
Oh, I didn't even see those.
Yeah, I got boo-boos everywhere. And then I can paint it back out if I need to. But I think in this particular case, because the background white will do it.
Oh, it just kind of disappears as you
Yeah.
paint it.
I'm going to go ahead and give Mom that same kind of cute little corner feather because I think it's really adorable. I like her little corner feathers, don't you?
I do.
And then she needs her little dark under feather. She wouldn't go out with her like little feather liner all messed up, so
Her feather liner.
I feel like she's like, you know, I may be in the woods, it may be raining, I might be with my little baby bird, but we're bringing it. I'm just going to come back and repair where I boo-booed that. See how we can do? We can repair any boo-boo. You can fix boo-boos. Fix all the boo-boos, Mama. You can do it. All right. These are our happy little bluebirds. This is my painting for Mother's Day so that you guys, like, if you're like that last minute gift, you've got it now. If it's a project you're doing with your mom or maybe 3 or 4 generations of moms in a family, I want to say happy Mother's Day to you. I want to say happy Mother's Day to my own mothers. I want to say happy Mother's Day to my mom, Ginger, and of course my mother-in-law, Linda. And I just have so much love for everybody, and I hope you guys are doing amazing. Let me sign my painting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to come in. I'm going to get a little blue, I think, and
While you're
white.
signing that, I'll give a quick thank you to everyone who's helped us reach our goal for the Derp Squad, for supporting St. Jude and Play Live. We look forward to seeing you guys all on future broadcasts for this stuff. Don't forget to go check out the Derp Squad and the Play Live donation links down below.
We thank you so much. Oh my goodness. I really can't wait to see your fluffy birds. I hope this matches really well with your fuzzy bee. More fuzzy animals are coming. Probably they will be live, like this is live. Listen, on this and every other weekend of the year, everybody just hug each other, love each other, be good to each other. I want to see you at the easel really soon. Bye-bye.